to be under the sea. An octopus is gone with you.
And joining us from the Sydney Underwater Gazette, Marco Bordieri. How are you this morning, Marco?
I'm very good. Good morning, Simon.
Now, we've been around the areas of Sydney exploring what is underneath the water. And so we're going to have a look at the Sydney coastline, the marine ecosystems that are there. And today we're going to Kurnell.
That's it. Kurnell is many may know, but it's the southern headland of Botany Bay. So the other time we went north looking into Bear Island. Now we're going south of the south side of the bay. It's called Botany. Is called Kurnell, but it's also part of the Kamai Botany Bay National Park.
And it's got a big significance as far as the white history of Australia goes.
Yeah, well, absolutely. Many may remember Kurnell is considered the birthplace of modern Australia because it's where Captain Cook landed in 1770. Making the first contact with the original inhabitants, the Guigal Aborigines. And it's a beautiful and relaxing recreational park, regardless of the fact that it's right in front of the airport and Port Botany, but it's a great place for a picnic.
But it is one of the top diving spots for marine lovers.
Yeah, when we go there, we don't stop picnicking, but we go straight into the water. We don't waste time. So we just give a quick look around and we dive underwater. And it's unique, as you say, because it's close enough to the entrance of Botany Bay to be considered open ocean, but also oriented in a way that is protected from most of the swell. And so this double exposure makes it very rich with resident sea life. And the segment where you want to go, it's a 800-meter segment, of course, between the sculpture of the whale. There is a big sculpture of the whale in the northern tip, all the way south to the car park, which is called the Leap.
And what can be found there?
Well, first of all, most of the sea life is found below 10 meters of depth. So if you are going to go snorkeling, it's hardly it's hard that you see much because it's the limitation. But if you free dive, if you hold your breath and go a little bit deeper, or if you scuba dive with tanks, then you can enjoy a wide range of special treats. And just to mention a few, we'll be mentioning the weedy sea dragons.
I love those guys. Well, I've only seen them dried in the sand on the beach, but they look fantastic.
So one of the goals of my life is to bring you scuba diving and to see one alive because, it's clearly a different experience than the pitiful, finding of one dried on the beach, but also the colors and their movements, their eyes, they move, they look at you. And
wow.
Over there are 27 individuals. It's the largest colony of weedy sea dragons in Sydney, as far as we know.
And they literally look like a large seahorse, don't they?
Yeah, they're about 30 centimeters long, so much bigger than a seahorse. Their tail is straight, and they're golden in color. And the name comes from having these appendices that look like wheat. They're just beautiful.
They are wonderful creatures. Not so beautiful, with a face only a mother could love, is the fish that looks like me when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah, I saw your comment the other day. And, well, I never seen you at 4 o'clock in the morning. But
you have seen an anglerfish, and they're pretty much the same.
Yes. It's it has this incredible serious face, and we have a special one right there. It's called the red-fingered anglerfish.
Wow.
It's unique because apart from having these fins with a bit of red, the skin has a texture that looks like a sponge. So if you see a sponge with eyes, that's likely to be an anglerfish. Of this type has only been found at Kurnell or Bear Island. So either on the south or the north side of the bay, and nowhere else in the world has been found. So it's really, really special.
And that's why people should go to the Sydney Underwater Gazette Facebook page, because you've got a beautiful photo there where it looks like something out of a science fiction film.
Looks like something that's been photoshopped, but it's just a great picture by our friend Steve Kutz. And if you can go there and have a look, it's astonishing.
Well, you'll get an idea of what my partner sees every morning at 4:15 as well. There's also the red wide-bodied pipefish.
Yeah, talking about rare species, this one has been discovered only 3 years ago, and only here and all the way to Shell Harbour. There are a few places. It's like it's a pipefish. It's like a pipe, and it's been found within a sponge, which is called the finger sponge, which looks exactly the same.
And it does. It's incredible, again, looking at the photo. So how frequent is it to come across a new species when you're underwater?
Well, it happens. You may think that nowadays everything has been found, but the reality is that divers often get very familiar with species. They don't know, they've never been classified because they don't have the scientific background to know that this fish they see every day is actually slightly different. So sometimes they post a picture on social media, a biologist see the picture, and they say, wait a minute, this looks different. So the biologist has to go into the water, start searching for 2 specimens to be collected.
2?
Needs a male and a female needs to be collected. They need to test the DNA to double check that it is actually a new species, to store them in jars, and only at that stage they may claim that it is a new species. It's a bit of a destructive process because you're actually going to kill a couple in the environment, but that's the only way you can classify new species.
Well, not the only way, because sometimes they come up where you least expect them.
Yeah, there was a high visibility case in 2004 when a researcher was just browsing the basement of the Australian Museum and noticed something particular in a jar containing a couple of scorpion fish that were collected 3 years before in Chowder Bay as part of a survey. So it turned out that these 2 fishes that were a male and a female were actually belonging to a species that was never found before. And unfortunately, never found again since then. So maybe these 2 were the last one on Earth, and they were taken part of the survey.
And they were in the museum. Now, a note for those listening, if they wish to go on to the Sydney Underwater Gazette Facebook page, you've got a map of the underwater area of Kurnell with the steps, the monument and the leap, so people can see also photos of what's under the water. What are the conditions like for diving or snorkeling this weekend, Marco Bordieri?
The visibility is still good. It's been holding for now 3 weeks because of the low swell in these weeks. The swell is picking up a little bit, but the visibility is still above the average with an average of 8-10 meters. Pretty cold, 15 degrees in the harbor, 16, 17 Oceanside. But still very pleasant if you are well equipped with the dry suit or a wetsuit.
Well, I want to find out the difference between a dry suit and a wetsuit, but we'll do that another time because for now, Marco Bordieri, ci vediamo ragazzi.
Ciao Simon, buona giornata.